If you've tuned in to see if you can argue with your spouse and still be madly in love, you're in the right spot.
I'm Kent.
And I'm Annie.
And we're the Kilkos. Sounds like a game show.
We're your host of Life's Little Arguments. We're not trained experts in love and marriage. Actually, we might be quite dysfunctional, but we have been happily married for 16 years.
Debatable.
Not only will we share all the ups and downs of marriage, but the ins and outs of raising his and her kids, growing through new jobs and opportunities, and our latest obsession, our empty nest babies, our dogs, Blakely and Lincoln.
So if you hear ding, ding, ding across the microphone, they're probably walking across the floor.
Listen in each week while we discuss our life, current events, random TikToks, and the little arguments that undoubtedly come up. Whether you're in a long-term relationship yourself or in a fresh new relationship, we hope you find our podcast fun, entertaining, and helps you realize there is a normal in life's little arguments. I can't help but laugh.
When do you start?
We're starting now. We've started.
Listen, people.
Now, first of all,
Hey. Listen, if you want to hear us argue, we need to just record ourselves.
This is ridiculous.
But we can't record ourselves because for whatever freaking reason, when we start this thing and try to get going, the system it takes a shit. I mean, it really and truly does. And we can't figure it out.
It's bad.
But anyways, we're here now. We are happy to be here. Annie, I am worn slap out, but you know what? I would not have it any other way, and I'm glad to be here with you on Life's Little Arguments with the Kilkos.
How many times I have to tell you? You do not have to keep saying Life's Little Arguments with the Kilkos.
I can say this shit as many times as I want to say it. Life's Little Arguments with the Kilkos.
Oh my gosh.
All right, let's go. Let's hop into this bad boy. Episode number 4.
We've hopped. We're here.
Yes.
We've hopped. Shit, I don't know. I'm discombobulated. I don't know what the hell's going on right now.
Okay, get your freaking head in the game and let's go.
Okay, so, hey babe.
Hey love.
Let's restart. Oh, that was frustrating. So, what's been going on this week?
Work. A lot of work. I've been on roofs. I've been helping people decide how they're going to replace roofs. I've been writing contracts for real estate. The sun is hot, by the way. Like, even if you're not like running and exercising in the sun, it will wear you slap out. But you know what? I'm on a text thread with some buddies of mine from high school, and we got to talking and chatting and whatnot. I said, man, I refuse to go back to a 9-to-5. I refuse to go back to that corporate life. Did it for 20 years, and I just can't do it.
It would be hard. It would be really hard. I think about that pretty often as I'm still trying to find a job.
Yep.
Which means I'm not really 100% sure. Am I really trying to find a job?
That's debatable as well. But listen, I mean, honestly, you know, when people ask me like what I hope to accomplish with real estate, the answer is simple. I want to have such a successful real estate career that you have a choice whether or not you want to work or not. If you want to work, that's great. If you don't, then that's great. Personally, I love you being here.
And it's not like, okay, let's be clear. I'm not sitting around just doing nothing, like binging shows all day. Like, I literally am up here figuring out stuff like that.
You got
like,
your own podcast.
Clearly, you've seen
you're helping,
this is not easy.
It's not easy at all, but you got your own podcast going. You're helping clients with some social media stuff. I mean, I love the dogs. Love you, which I mean, listen. Somebody's got to take care of the two of them. Yes. They're just like kids.
We have this podcast, and I have my own podcast.
No, that's what I said. Yeah,
it's a lot.
I think you're doing a lot, and I think you're doing an incredible job with all of it. And by golly, I'm proud of you.
Oh wow, thanks. So we went last night to Macon.
Yep.
And we went to
3rd Street Studios.
3rd Street Studios. It was really cool.
Yeah.
Which I've seen people on Facebook, and I've seen their pictures. And I'm like, you know, they've clearly taken it in a studio somewhere. I wonder where that is. And turns out this is where they've had those pictures taken. So that was pretty cool.
They've got some backdrops. One in particular, I can't think of what it's called, but it's almost like infinity. I think it's called like an infinity backdrop.
Where, you're talking about the white.
Yeah,
the white
it's almost like a white, like an old skateboard and half pipe used to be. That's what it reminded me
really
of.
Cool.
At first, you think it's just another pull down, but did you realize it just creates a lot of dimension?
Yeah.
And Jave. Yeah, I think his name is Jave. He's the one that owns the studio. He told me that that's the only one like that in Central Georgia.
Really?
And there's actually some artists and so forth that come down from Atlanta just to shoot in the studio because of that backdrop.
Wow.
So really cool lighting.
The lighting was amazing.
Annie with Annie T Photography.
Yes.
She took pictures, did free headshots for those of us that were in attendance, and it was just a good networking event, which is super cool to me as well.
Yeah, which...
Man, I feel like y'all need to let me know, but I feel like my radio voice has improved over the first 4 podcasts.
And I feel like your volume compared to mine is probably not good. Like, and I don't know.
I'm too loud.
No, I don't think you're too loud. I don't know. I don't know what to do. This is confusing. This equipment is...
We'll get there. We're just having fun, and that's all that matters. We're not perfect at this. Y'all can clearly tell that already. We're not perfect, but we love doing it. We love the feedback we're getting from you guys, so please keep it coming.
Yeah, so once we finally launched, which was also, I feel like, drama for me, because I'm the one that does all this. You show up, you act like...
I'm what they call the talent.
Right, exactly. You act like you're the talent. Like, so, you expect everything to be picture perfect when you get here, roll in, sit down, record, and leave, and then it just magically appears places. So it's slightly frustrating.
That's
for
what
me.
happens with talent.
Well, you're not, so let me just take that down a notch.
Do you think Brad Pitt ever had to go behind the camera
Yes.
and do corrections? No. He
Yes.
shows up, does the work, and then goes back to his
Listen,
trailer.
I promise you that Angelina knocked him down a few notches. Promise.
Okay, maybe I picked the wrong person.
Yes.
Let me say Chris Hemsworth, since that's what I look like anyway.
So this, it's like you 3 steps forward, 2 steps back as far as like understanding and learning all of this. So anyway.
Listen, we don't need to let them behind the curtains. They don't have to know how difficult this shit
Well,
is.
I'm not trying to...
They just need to know the final product is amazing, and that's all they
I'm
need
trying to
to know.
tell them what my week has been like.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yep.
So,
Yes.
my week has been up very late trying to get this
3
thing...
o'clock in the morning
3
one time, by
o'clock
the
in the
way.
morning
Yep.
trying to get this thing going. And I did, in fact.
When we go to bed off schedule, it screws the dogs up so much.
It really does.
Blakely, no. Blakely's like me. She can fall asleep sitting
Lincoln,
there.
it's not good for him.
Man, he does not know what to do. He paces.
He's very routine, which, I mean, Blakely's like you. She can just fall asleep anywhere.
Yeah.
Lincoln is extremely routine, and it's the same routine every night. And if you miss it, you have missed that window. You are up again for another hour and a half. And it's like he literally is like a baby. It's
fights his sleep.
Fights his sleep
And
so
then when
hard.
Lauren gets home from wherever she got home from last night and decides to pick up a toy on the way, a squeaky toy, if you will.
I'm gonna lose
So
my
we had to let him play with that in the bed for like 30 minutes because it's like, okay, you can't be rude and be like, you can't get the toy. But yeah, so it screws him up. But anyhow, you've been...
And he has to have his final pee. So every time he wakes up, he then plays, he fights his sleep, and when he's ready, then he has to have his final pee every single time.
You've been doing a kick-ass job this week, and I appreciate it. Speaking of, I'm going to be honest with you. After that networking event we went to yesterday, I had a suit on anyways. So we decided to do a little social media thing, and we did, what is the bombshell?
Bombshell is entering
since we were talking about Love Island.
You've been wanting to do it for a while, but this was really the opportunity.
I tried to do an Australian accent. It was god-awful. I've already had a couple people say, what did you say at the end? I've had somebody say that was an Australian Forrest Gump.
You need to explain what you said at the end.
Yeah, at the end I said, all out long walks on the beach and all out my bish poos. And people were like, what is he saying? Our dogs are bish poos, as a reminder.
Poos, yes.
Yep.
So he
but
likes
anyways,
his bish poos.
that honestly, out of all the videos we've done so far, that's probably my favorite one. I don't know. I don't know why. It's just, it was funny to me. It was relevant because we just talked about Love Island.
Yes.
And,
It was funny. And it was actually super funny because the outtakes I saved, and I'll post a couple of them because I'm trying to give him direction. So I'm like, okay, I want you to like kind of turn around to the camera and like kind of wink. And when he turned around, he's like,
okay.
he's like in a permanent.
I look like a pirate. I look like a pirate.
He looked like a pirate. It was hilarious. So I for sure will post that tomorrow.
But to my defense, like we tried it a few times and every time I was trying to do it, I started laughing. So the only way I could get a wink out is if I started it way before I turned, and it just kind. But anyways,
so
it was a damn
okay,
cluster.
we're gonna abort.
It was a cluster. But anyhow, it turned out really good. As always, you kind of make it happen. You put it all together, and I appreciate you for that.
Well, it was very cute. And of course that song is very catchy. So, I have caught you watching it like 8,000 times. That's okay though.
According to Facebook, it's only been viewed 3,000 times, so that's a lie.
So anyway, so that was fun. We always enjoy going. Actually, no, that's not true. I don't enjoy going to those type of things, but I go.
I feel like as we've gotten older,
I have gotten better at
Okay,
faking it,
yeah.
but that is not what I would. If you said, "Hey, do you want to go do this?" I'm like, "No,
That's true.
I do not want to go do that."
You know, I think it's when we worked at Geico, like it was almost like Geico was your world and nothing else really mattered. I don't know if matter's the right word, but you didn't have a lot of time for extracurricular stuff. You didn't have a lot of time for socializing and all because you're just working your ass off all the time. And I think that now that we're both business owners, it's like, you know, that's just part of it. But I have just gotten to where I enjoy it more and more and more because you meet new people. Honestly, I feel like it keeps me young and fresh because you're meeting different people, younger people, different business owners. So it's I enjoy it. I love
know
it.
you do. I tend to find a corner and I hold that corner up, or a seat and I hold that seat down.
Oh, 3rd Street Studios. How about that signature wall? That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah, we actually, I wrote King Killer Real Estate or something, but then we also put the name of the podcast up there too.
I did put the name of the podcast up there. I hope that we go and take pictures there. I would love to have like a birthday.
Oh, I've already told Annie we're going to do a pet shoot and a girl's birthday shoot.
Well, so I have,
Joe can take y'all to Montana or Wyoming, whatever he said, and I'm going to pay for a photo shoot.
Okay, well, so we've had the dogs. This will be Blakely's 3rd birthday this year, and I've yet to throw her a birthday party, which is very unlike me from the standpoint of I'm all about these dogs. And so I thought I need to throw them a birthday party this year. And if I don't throw them a birthday party, at a minimum, we can take them up there and do a photo shoot. I think that would be super cute.
A lot of fun.
Because I would love to get some really good pictures, which we have these 2 pictures that we kind of took in the bonus room, but I would love to have some other ones. That'd be great.
We should just go ahead and throw Nelly and Odie in there too.
Oh, hold up now.
That might. Could you imagine the 4 of them? Lincoln would be like biting at Odie the whole time.
No, that they would have to be separate. That would not work out. So the other thing that has been interesting since we launched the podcast is, I guess kind of the realization that people have listened to it. Like, I knew we were going to put it out there, and I knew we were going to put it on our own socials, but I guess it didn't really occur to me that people might actually listen to it. And so, we've definitely had people that have listened, and
one of them being my daughter.
Oh God, yes. And so she came into the bedroom, which, every morning she just busts right in. There's zero privacy whatsoever. It's just come on in. It doesn't matter. Even if my door is shut, wide open. Just
personal space doesn't matter.
No personal space.
She gets that from me.
Okay, well, I can't. We'll have to talk about that another time. But so she comes in and she's like, I listened to the podcast. I'm like, what? I'm sorry, what? That never crossed my mind that she would listen to the podcast.
Well, at least we have not gotten X-rated yet.
We have not. And she's like,
or R. We'll probably get R-rated. I don't know about X-rated. We won't get X-rated. Will we?
Well, what's X-rated compared to R-rated?
I don't know, but if you want to, I'm down. I'm down.
Okay, hold on. No. So anyway, I told her, I'm like, well, I'll make sure and tell you if there's a podcast. Like, if you're going to keep listening, that's cool. But just know that we are going to talk about you, and just know that you get on my nerves. So I'm going to talk about you getting on my nerves, and we're going to talk about Jackson too.
So here's my question. Did she rate us at all? Do you know?
She did.
Okay, good. If she didn't, I was going to kick her ass.
So anyway, I thought that was kind of funny. It really took me by surprise. And then some of my friends that had texted me to let me know that they listened, I was like, oh God, like this actually kind of just got real.
And he's like, it's making me nervous now.
I know. Now I'm like, oh shit. But I'm trying very hard not to change what I would say.
Yeah, of course not. You should. And remember, this is therapy for us. We're just having fun.
This is just us.
Just a married couple having fun.
It's just a married couple having fun. Actually mentioning, what would be more fun is
if we had a bunch of likes and subscribes and we were making a bunch of money off this.
Well, actually, that absolutely would make it more fun. But also would make it more fun is if we had more snacks in this house. Since Jackson has moved out, I feel like I went downstairs. I'm in a snacky mood today. I have needed something. I feel like I've not had any type of anything that gave me That was good.
I think that's fair to say, but I don't know that it's the lack of snacks. I think it's the lack of watching him eat it. Because so for case in point,
I didn't enjoy watching him eat it.
no,
What are
no,
you
no,
talking
no, no.
about?
But case in point, the golden Oreos have been in that cookie jar for a while now,
Yeah.
right? And when he was here, and we had golden Oreos. You hear ching ching, him opening the glass cookie jar, and he'd get them out. And I think naturally you're like, oh, I know he's got. So it makes you want to. It's kind of like the cookies we used to get from Publix. I wouldn't be craving it at all, but as soon as I heard him open that pack,
So that does not make sense as to what I'm saying. I am craving snacks. So you're trying to tell me I was only craving snacks because I heard him.
that's what
but
I'm
now
trying to tell
I'm
you.
not hearing it, but I'm still craving snacks. So do you see where that
Maybe
doesn't make sense?
maybe it's not a strong enough craving to actually go do something about it though.
No, it is. That's what I'm telling you.
So here's a funny
Like,
story
I
about.
want to get done with this so we can go to Dairy Queen.
Here's a funny story. Like that would be sitting. The dogs like to take a ride. anyways.
Yes.
Here's a funny story about Publix cookies. It's probably an inside joke. You might not think it's funny, but you know the ones that have the really really soft icing, they have the slots that they go into. Well, Jackson used to, for whatever reason, that one of the OCD things that he decided to do was he likes the cookies to be in this certain order. So after a few of them had been eaten, I would go
You
and
almost just said it.
I would go into the pack and I would mix them up a little bit so they're out of order, they're not aligned.
He would like eat them all from the left hand
Yeah,
side
yeah,
and then
yeah.
all from the
Man,
right hand
and
side.
I
It was
used to-
never like back and forth,
just
and forth.
to get on his nerves, I would go mix those cookies up and just sit at the couch
And
and
he
laugh.
would know it immediately, and he
yeah.
would immediately know that you did it.
And when he was younger, like I would say, up until 18, it would piss him off, and then after 18,
he realized it was a joke.
yeah, then he's like, oh,
Yeah.
I can actually laugh at myself, and yeah.
I wonder now that he has moved out. You know what's interesting is I wonder now that since he has moved out,
I know where you're going, 100%.
does he have the same type of tendencies? The
As
OCT?
me, OCD,
Well,
absolutely.
no, I don't really mean as you.
Oh.
Like, I know you like to think that you had such an impression that he picked up these
Oh,
things from you.
wow.
But what I'm talking about is, you know how he would
Yeah.
down, and like it was it was a certain pattern that he was coming down the steps.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it was a thud, of course, but and he, of course, he doesn't have steps in his house now, and he has. I don't even know if he's been back here and upstairs since he's left. But I'm like wondering, would he still do that, or does he have tendencies there at his house that he does?
Surely he has tendencies there. They were there when he was here.
I don't know, because it makes me wonder. I don't think he was born with these things. It was like as he got older, you started to notice and pick these things out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that I got the things I got from my dad because I'm made of his blood. I think I got them because I lived with him for 22 years or however long it was. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, that's more influential than whether
You're
or not.
talking about what you got from Johnny K?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, at least I hear that all the time. Oh my God, you're so Johnny K.
You are very Johnny K.
Yep.
And we love you, Johnny K.
Love
if
you,
you're
Johnny
listening.
K. Shout out.
But if you're not, oh my God. Okay, hold on. I gotta get Lincoln.
He's being a little jealous right now.
Yep, he wants to be held and he wants his belly rubbed. It's nighttime for him. It's nighttime. So, the other day, our first podcast, we kind of told a little bit of. Okay, that's enough. I don't need licks. Stop. We told a little bit of kind of how we met.
Yep.
And that story took place at Geico.
Right. Yep.
But right now, we're no longer at Geico.
That's correct. Like, where are we going with this?
Well, where I'm going with this is rumor has it, actually there was a rumor about why we left Geico. And I'm wondering, should we get into that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think it's going to disappoint a lot of people because it's not nearly as exciting as a lot of people thought. Yeah. So honestly, when I left Geico, something happened and I was going to be removed from a management.
No, you can't say something happened. You've got to tell the whole story.
Okay, well,
That's the whole
but I was going to
point.
lead up to that and say something happened. I was asked to be removed from a management position, but the rumors started flying, and the rumors were I was having an affair. The rumors were that Annie came up on the 4th floor and beat some girl's ass. That she came and showed her ass to everyone else, and I'm sorry to disappoint everyone, but
That was not the case.
But I was removed from my
First
position.
of all, hold on.
Yep.
Can anyone picture me getting into a fight? I have never in my life been in a fight.
No, I can't imagine that. But I don't know. I think if like push comes to shove, you probably could. And if they get you down, like your legs are pretty strong. We've wrestled before. And let me just, you got some strong legs. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, but if they pulled my hair, I'd be out.
Yeah.
I got such a tender
If you
head.
have to fight with your upper body, I think you're toast. But lower body, you got a chance. But,
Okay.
So anyhow, the number $42.80 will probably always stick in my head. Now, I should preface this by saying I gave my life to Geico for 19 years. I mean, it
Same.
was, I mean, it
21.
was what I thought about. It's where I'm going to retire from. I mean, I did everything from sales to service to claims to hiring to HR to everything that you can possibly think of.
And when we talk about we gave our life to Geico, you said earlier about, you didn't socialize a whole lot because, of work and whatever. And that was 100% true. Like we did nothing but work for Geico. And it was always, you were made to feel it was never enough. And when you hit that goal that was ridiculous, then
What's next?
it wasn't even a pat on the back. It was what's next.
Yeah.
And it's so frustrating, which I know so many people understand this now because of all the layoffs and seeing, how they've treated people after the fact. And
it's progressively gotten worse over the years, but we did make a lot of good friendships there. I should say that, and especially early on.
And it provided very well for our family.
Sure.
We did very well there. So there's no regrets. I will never regret or never say anything bad about it from that standpoint. But this, I can't.
So I was a claims manager at the time, and we were going to be doing like a rap video, me and a few of the girls in the department. And one of the girls said, hey, what if we could make some T-shirts for this rap? And I was like, okay, cool. And we'll try to do the rap the next day. Now, go ahead and think of yourself, okay, how do I get T-shirts the very next day that are custom T-shirts? The answer to that is you can't. Well, Annie happened to, when she was kind of getting started, thinking about the boutique and all that stuff, she used to do jewelry and T-shirts and all that stuff. So I come home and was like, hey, here's our idea. Can you do some vinyl T-shirts for us? Of course, yeah, sure. She begrudgingly did it, yelled at me because I knew it was... Anyhow, she charged $40 for these T-shirts.
$8 a shirt.
Yeah, $8 a shirt.
$5.
No, $8.
No, I'm saying like it was like $6 for the actual T-shirt wholesale, and then it was.
So, anyways, the
$3
long story
for
short, we didn't make any money off this,
No,
and
hell
that's the
no.
important part of this story. And when I say $42.80, because if you apply tax, that's what it ends up being. So anyhow. I got the T-shirts. We did the wrap, everything else. I had a company credit card. I was one of the only managers up there that had a company credit card. I submitted the request to have it reimbursed. Got reimbursed. Fast forward a year.
No, I think it was 2 years.
Maybe okay. Fast forward over a year.
It was a long time.
Fast forward over a year, and for whatever reason, this particular charge continued to show up on my expense report. It showed as approved, but I couldn't ever get it to disappear. And I used to manage this expense report meticulously because I was the only one that had a card. So it was like, I can't mess this up. And so anyways, we ended up switching directors. One of the directors was removed from the position. We had someone from another region, another part of the country come in, take over the position. And I had sent her an email or the same expense report, and I said, hey, look, this has already been approved. I don't know why it's not coming off of the report. Now, keep in mind, between the first time it was approved and then this second time I'm submitting it saying, I don't know why this is still showing up on my report, I had submitted and received approval for 128 transactions. So over the course of over a year, whatever, the company credit card that I was using for multiple departments, multiple managers, 128 times, okay? So then that director, I'm not going to say first and last names, but I will say it is A. White. That director came to me and was like, hey, I noticed that I recognize this name. Doesn't your wife have like a T-shirt company? I said, yeah, of course she does. Is the name of it so-and-so? I was like, yeah, of course she does. And she was like, okay, I was thinking maybe is that what that expense was for? I was like, yeah, we did this wrap. We had 5, T-shirts. We needed them the next day. They needed to be custom, blah, blah, blah. I said, so I submitted. I said, this was approved like a year ago. And it just keeps showing up. She was like, okay, cool. So then she comes back like the next day and was like, let's talk a little bit more about this expense report. I was like, okay, cool. Thinking nothing of it. And she was like, you realize it's against company policy to profit from your company. And I was like, Now keep in mind that policy is for people who are auto damage adjusters out in the field trying to, resell salvage vehicles.
Or you've got a landscaping business and you get the contract to do the landscaping for Geico.
Yeah. Obvious stuff. Again, the word is profiting, right? So anyhow, I was like, well, yeah, I said, but there was no profit. Like literally, she probably lost money on these t-shirts, not to mention we needed them the next day. We got them the next day. She's like, okay, cool. I need you to write some kind of statement stating that. She was like, it's going to be like, it's not a big deal. I think there just needs to be some explanation, whatever. That was mistake number one. I think she was probably trying to trick me at that point. And I maybe should have picked up on that. But again, using common sense, I thought, okay, what's the big deal? I mean, whatever. If you tell me I messed up, I messed up. All right. So I write it up, said, hey, yeah, I recognize the policy. This was not any ill intention at all. I no way at all profited off this. This is what we needed, blah, blah, blah.
And let me mention, I'm still working at Geico. I am not making big bucks off of t-shirts or jewelry or anything else by any means.
Yeah.
It was something that I did to let out my creative side and occasionally make a little bit of money that I could use to...
Not on this transaction.
Not on this transaction, but on everything else, possibly a little bit here and there that gave us money to go buy food at the concession stand at Jackson's baseball games.
Yeah.
Like, give me a fucking break.
So anyhow, of course, I'm worried to death at this point because I'm like, okay, this is not right. And I'm a rule follower. Like Andy will tell you, like anything that I did wrong at work, I mean, it worried me because I didn't want to mess up, But here's the thing is when a company starts bringing in people from all over the country, and at 28 years old and 29 years old, because they've been willing to move here and move there, or because they're willing to give their entire life to the company and do whatever they got to do. Like when companies start doing stuff like that, what happens is those people have no idea of your history. No. They don't know how you've helped bring a particular location from point A to point B over the last 20 years. They don't know that you've been on commercials. They don't know that you've led this event or led that event. Like they don't know any of that stuff. All they know is kind of what's happened since they got in there. And so first of all, that's bullshit. And I can tell you that is, in my opinion, the downfall of Geico. When things started to happen and people were getting promoted just because they were willing to do this or willing to do that, or because they had a certain type of degree. And that was, in my opinion, the absolute start of the downfall of Geico. But anyways, I digress. So apparently this goes to HR, and I'm not going to mention first and last names, but F. Pickering was above A. White. And there have been much, 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 much worse shit happen at Geico, and nothing happened to people. And I absolutely cannot be convinced that A. White and F. Pickering could not have done something to use common sense to say, look, it's clear that he's obviously not trying to profit off of it. Is there a rule? Sure. Okay. Slap on the wrist? Sure. But to say that I was trying to profit on the organization, it's complete bullshit. Especially when I got a credit card and I've done, I'll remind you, 128 transactions over the course of a year and a half. Not one blemish whatsoever. But anyhow, I am thoroughly convinced, and maybe this is just me in my mind, and maybe I can't get over it. I'm thoroughly convinced that the organization, when they move someone into a higher position, part of what they do or have to do as their initiation is they've got to remove somebody from a position. F. Pickering did it with somebody else. A.Y. did it with me, and I've seen it happen multiple times. Maybe there's no truth to that, but I don't give a shit. I don't work for him anymore.
No,
but
yeah, I'm like, it's making me emotional just even talking, like reliving it, honestly, because that was such a scary time for you. Literally, we were going out for my birthday that night that you brought the car around. You left early, which I thought, well, that's strange, but it was my time to get off anyway, so it was fine. And you picked me up, and you tell me this, and I'm like, you're joking. And you like scream it at me. And I'm still like, no, this is not funny. Like, you're joking. This is not a funny joke. And then it starts sinking in. And I'm like, the company that we've worked for, I've worked for them for 21 years at that point. You've been there for 19. At that point in time, we had been married, I don't know, 14 years or something like that. I don't. That math is not completely right.
The math is not
That
math,
math is
but
not mathing.
whatever. 10 years. Sure,
Anyway,
whatever, yeah.
it's provided a nice life, a comfortable life, a stable life for us, and now it's not.
Yeah.
And it was devastating. It was devastating to go through that as your spouse. It was devastating for you to go through it. It was then devastating to hear the rumors. I'm every day coming home from work because I'm still going to work. And I'm then hearing everybody come up to me, and they're not even whispering. They're just flat out coming up to me and asking me, this is what I heard.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then you tell people and nobody believes you.
Yeah. It was, I mean, for a period of time, and it was a nightmare, man. It really was. So they were going to remove me from the management position, not fire me, but just kind of put me back into an associate level position. They were going to take a little bit of money from me, but at that point, it was not about the money at all. I mean,
Yeah.
I had lost complete trust in the organization. I'd lost complete respect for the people that were in their positions. It takes a lot for me to get angry, and it takes a lot for me to hate people. And I had some hate in my heart. I mean, I really did. And honestly, I still do. I mean, I really and truly still do.
Well, because entrepreneurial spirit is not that's not your core.
Wasn't.
It wasn't your core. You would have, had this not happened, and you would still be there. You would still be there, assuming they would have still had you based on everything that's gone down recently, but it would have never been in your plan to look for another job, to go somewhere else, to do something different. That was who you were.
Yep. And it would have been me, waking up at 5:30 in the morning and getting home at 6:30 and going to bed at 9:30 because I'm just completely exhausted. And now I get up and I go to bed, but it's just different now. And honestly, I really and truly feel like everything happens for a reason. I remember saying that multiple times after this, and there have been things that have happened that I know good and well would not have happened otherwise. Case in point, so after I left Geico, I worked for New York Life as a financial advisor and dealt with life insurance as well for, I don't know, 2.5 years or whatever before I got into the real estate industry. And I met with a couple that's really good friends of ours.
You're going to make me cry now.
And I ended up writing the husband a life insurance policy, which I to this day, I'm thoroughly convinced that had I not been in that position at that time, he would not have gotten that life insurance policy. And in perfect health, I mean, got the
it was needed.
What do you call it when they go to the doctor?
The screening.
Yeah, screening and all that stuff. I mean, clean bill of health. And then about 3 or 4 months later, he started experiencing some pain in his stomach. Fast forward a couple years, and he ended up passing away. And, because we were able to write that life insurance policy, it has afforded his surviving spouse the ability to grieve and the ability to decide what she wants to do next and everything else. So, but the point being is, I'm 100% convinced that had I still been at Geico, that obviously wouldn't have happened. And I don't know that they would have been as proactive at meeting with someone else as they were me.
No.
What's funny though is, you remember when we were Geico, like we thought we were broke.
Oh yeah,
right?
It's crazy.
We're like, oh, we never have enough. Now we're really broke.
Right,
No.
Exactly.
It's so up and down with this. But
I mean, that flows right into my whole manifestation and what I believe, and the fact that, what you focus on, I mean, it really is true. And we said it at Geico, what you focus on multiplies.
Yeah.
Or what you focus on gets done, either way you want to look at it. And when you focus on, I'm broke, you are in fact feel broken.
So are you the one focusing on? No,
I was, I was meticulous. Like I was the one that, balanced like the checkbook every single day because I felt like we never were able to afford the things that, we had. And so it is crazy because then when you left Geico, you came to me and you said, I want you to open your store.
She had been asking for probably a year, 2 years.
I had been asking for it. I had been manifesting it. I had been journaling on it and meditating. I mean, I'm talking, I was putting the vibes out.
And I was like, why would we? Like, we're in good shape. We both made good money. We got good benefits.
Yes,
like,
and you never, ever in a million years would have considered this. Ever.
Yep.
Never.
Yep.
And then when this happened, you came to me and you're like, I want you to do this. I don't want to live life with the standpoint of you at the end of your life. I don't want you to look back and say, you didn't do this because of me. And I'm getting emotional again. Oh my God. So anyway, so I said, fuck it. Yeah, let's do it. And so I left off. And everybody thought we were crazy. And
we were crazy.
We were crazy. And our parents were very concerned. Well, we only have, who do we have left? We're part of the Dead Moms Club too, by the way.
Well, my dad was worried.
Your dad was worried. Yeah. My dad that is basically estranged, he actually showed up and was kind of worried. And then my stepdad, he was like, now, tell me again what you guys are doing, why you're doing this.
So we bet on ourselves, and we rolled the dice.
Did.
We bet on ourselves, and we have survived. I mean,
we have.
Anytime,
it's been 5 years.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you're self-employed, you're going to have ups and downs, and it is scary as hell. But I will go back to saying, I don't care if I have to work 8 different jobs. I will never give up my life to a corporation again.
Yeah.
And the thought of working a quote unquote 9 to 5, it absolutely makes me sick to my stomach. And it's not because of the work, it's because of the people that did what they did and the experience that I had. And there was so much opportunity to just fucking use common sense and say, okay, this dude has committed his life to us for 19 years and we're going to do this over $42.80, when if I use common sense, it's absolutely clear that he's not trying to profit off the organization. Yeah. Knowing damn good and well, people well above me had done much, much, much worse.
Oh, man. Some of the things that had happened there while we were there.
But let me tell you this. So I ended up, and I won't give first and last name, but I'll say T-Ball. So this was a lady, as I was going through my claims rotation, getting ready to be in management in claims. She was an older lady, closer to retirement. She was in a section with me. I had the utmost respect for her. She was like my mom.
Yeah.
And just, she had that nurturing mom kind of vibe to her. So anyways, she retires as I manage and everything else. And after all this happened, I saw her up at Wild Wings.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah. And so she was like, we of course hug and all that stuff. And she's like, I got a bone to pick with you. And I'm like, what's
in that motherly tone.
Yeah. And I'm like, what's that bone you got to pick? And so I said, let me guess. You heard this.
It was not long after.
And she was like, yeah, that's exactly what I've heard, which of course was that I had an affair and all this other crap. And Annie was up on the floor and all this other crap. So anyways, I'd said, Teresa, I'm not supposed to say, no, T-Ball, I said, I'm so glad that I saw you here tonight, because it gave me the opportunity to have that conversation with someone and really share what happened. But it was someone that I had so much respect for.
Yeah.
And again, things happen for a reason. Right place, right time. That was an opportunity for me to share that truth with someone who I really respected, and it helped me. It was almost therapeutic, right?
Yeah.
Because I had not really shared it with anyone else.
No, it was a hard time because you shut down. You shut down to the point you would. Honestly, we've not talked about it a whole lot ourselves. Like, at that point in time, I wanted so badly to be part of this decision of you leaving but it wasn't an option. You shut me down. You wouldn't talk to me at all.
Yeah. I think it was just, I still have anger, but I think it was just the level of anger that I had and the level of disappointment that I had. And when you look back now, it's like, Tony Tony Nysa was the CEO of Geico since like 1989, I think. Everyone loved him. I mean, he was Geico.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when he started his departure
you
is
could
when
tell.
when Geico started to go downhill. And so now when I look back, I'm like, you know, if I had gotten screwed over 3 or 4 years later, like now, for example, 5 years now, then I wouldn't have had the opportunity to do what I did with New York Life. I wouldn't have had the opportunity to be a team leader with Keller Williams and get into the real estate industry and then eventually move into production where I'm at now. I wouldn't be, you know, helping clients, you know, figure out what they're going to do with the roofing. Like I would not be doing this same level of hustling.
Yeah.
And I probably work more and I'm probably more tired, but I love it. I absolutely love it. And I'm so much more passionate about what I do now than what I did for 19 years.
Yeah.
So, oh my God, we didn't mean to do this.
No, it was that.
This is going to be a short
sorry,
explanation.
So
sorry guys.
to all y'all who thought that he was out there in the streets. That was not the case.
Yeah. And sorry for talking about it for that long. You clearly could see I needed to get something off my chest. I do not talk about this often at all. And it's still, the level of disappointment in the organization and with certain people still, it makes me angry. And I'm not an angry person. I don't like to feel like this. I don't like to think like this. But it just, it had such an impact on me.
It did. And it altered the course of our life, like more than anything else.
Yeah.
Like we both lost our moms. We have both been through divorces. This was the thing that altered the course of our life.
Yep.
And I mean, it was tragic at the time. It was
so if you like and subscribe,
so hard.
If you like and subscribe, this will make it all worth it.
That's right.
You know, but I love where we're at now. We're in our one of us is in our mid 40s. The other one is in our upper 40s.
Wow.
But
okay, that's
but
what we're doing.
I honestly feel like health wise, I feel better than I did in my 20s and 30s. Fun wise, I feel like we have more fun now than we did.
I don't feel like our parents had.
No, God,
they
no.
didn't do the things that we did and have the fun that we had.
Yeah, I think my dad wanted to.
Yeah,
but my mom, she was so reserved. It was weird because like at work and she coached. I mean, she was always one of my coaches. She was outgoing in that and people loved her, but she was just so, it's reserved, but it's like shy. I don't know the right word.
Yeah.
She never liked pictures being taken of her.
Yeah.
She never wanted to be the center of attention, which clearly is the opposite of me.
She had that same introvert. It was shy. It was definitely shyness.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was introvertedness, but I think it definitely was the shyness. Because like you're right. We have people to this day that come up to you and say how much they love Becky.
Yeah. So, but anyways, it's weird to think like we go out. I mean, we go on vacations with friends.
Yeah.
We go out to eat all the time with friends. I mean, we're going to bars. I mean, pool parties. I'm just like, I don't remember my parents ever doing it. Or maybe they just hit it better. I don't know.
I don't think they did. And it kind of makes me sad. I know my mom didn't. And, my dad he's worked hell. He's fixing to be how old? They're 79. They're fixing to be 79. So they're definitely, he's never gone and done anything like that. So I guess times are just changing, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But then I'm wondering, I'm like, well, are we the norm or are we the minority with this, you think?
Well, and this didn't happen for us until our kids got older.
That's a good point.
It was really, I think once we left Geico, honestly, that's really when it shifted.
Yeah, and then of course your kids are older.
That did correspond with Jackson graduating too, so that that makes a difference.
Yeah.
But it gave us a little bit more leeway. We sort of were empty nest for a little while because he went off to Georgia College, and then 2020 happened. Everything shut down. COVID-19. Fuck, what's it called?
COVID-19 technically.
COVID-19 happened.
In the 20, yeah.
And everything shut down. He came back home. So we went from living it up, empty nest
walk
life,
around
naked to, okay, he's back here.
Yeah.
So we got to reel that back in.
Yeah.
To him leaving again or almost ready to leave again. And then, boom, here comes Lauren. So, but But I don't think it started until we left Geico. Honestly.
No, I think you're right, but I love where we are now. I love being able to just kind of go, and our kids are old enough, and like Jackson and Lauren, like they're at the age now where if you want to talk to them about adult stuff,
we do.
It's not uncomfortable, it's not weird. She makes it weird, but
it is weird. No, it's still weird. It is uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable for me. It is embarrassing and uncomfortable for me to have some of these conversations.
You're like, you talk about it. And I'm like, no, you talk about it. You're like, no, you talk about it.
No, this is your daughter. You have to talk about this. It's not fair to put me in this position.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I thought maybe what we would do. Where did the game go?
IncoHEARent?
Yes, IncoHEARent. So we had such a good time playing this with the kids one night that we thought maybe we would try it with each other. I don't know how this is going to work out.
Well, first of all, we'll just kind of ask them, have y'all ever played IncoHEARent? If not, you just have to trust us on this one, okay? You just have to trust us that if you go to Target or wherever you get your games from and you pick up IncoHEARent, it has different colors, red, yellow, blue, you'll thank us later.
They can read.
Well, no, I'm just
They
making sure.
don't even know what color the box is.
I'm just making sure, like if they're walking by and they see red, yellow, blue, they'll
or
be
the
like,
word IncoHEARent.
So anyhow, what it is on one side of the card it has what the actual word or phrase is.
It's a phrase.
We're going to do pop culture for the purpose of this one.
Okay.
And we're going to do one card each.
Okay.
And you're basically kind of sounding out what the word or phrase is, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Sort of. The phrase on the other side that I'm going to see, I have to sound out. And it's supposedly once you sound it all out, I should be able to determine what the phrase is.
Yes. Okay. So Annie's going to go first. I'm going to hold up a card. As long as it's a decent one. I mean, it can't be so hard that you're not going to get it. So are you ready?
I think so. Hudyoka. 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 Joker. Is it pop culture?
I don't know why it's pop culture, but...
Is it a person?
You get one hint.
Hulk Hogan.
The hint on the card is warm stretching.
Oh. Warm yoga?
No.
Hulk yoga? Hug yoga? What kind of yoga?
The fuck, bro?
Warm yoga? Hug yoga. Hud yoga. Hard yoga.
Annie.
What is it?
You're all over it.
I understand that. Hud yoga.
Are you giving up?
Yes.
It's hot yoga.
Oh my God.
Jesus,
hot
woman.
yoga. Jeez,
what the heck?
Yeah, that was bad.
I think she just wanted to say hot to.
No.
You were all over that.
Didn't you tell me they saw her somewhere?
Oh, she was at like Country Music Fest, and old girl got up there on the stage and was like introducing Jelly Roll or something like that. She was like, "So Jelly Roll," and she screams. And I'm telling you that the silence in the crowd was, it spoke volumes. I mean, it was so uncomfortable. And even when she screamed and they like tried to say her name again to get her all, like no one paid attention to this girl. I felt so terrible for her.
Well, yeah.
I heard she's a really cool girl. I mean, I heard she's super nice, super energetic, but unfortunately, I think her 15 minutes are up. So.
Yeah. If you quit your job based on one TikTok.
But listen, if you're 20 years old, quit your job.
Sure.
Live it for 6 months and make what you're going to make and then go back and bartend or whatever you're going to do. So get off the girl.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so
hot yoga. You said everything but hot yoga.
Oh, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah. So, anyways, again, IncoHEARent.
All right.
And while we're waiting on Annie to pick a card, like and subscribe.
All right. Here's yours, and are all these pop culture?
I think so. Yellow. Okay. Watar you'll hook cannot. Water hookanot. Watar you'll hooknot. What tar you'll hook cannot. Watar you'll hook.
I don't know how this has anything to do with pop culture.
Well, maybe it's not pop culture. Maybe.
Do you want? Yeah, I think you messed that up.
The yellow is, it says pop culture. Watar you'll hookanot. What are you looking at? Yes. What are you looking at? No, wait. So it's what are you looking at? But just so you know, on the card it's like WATT Watt, tar, TAR, you'll YOU apostrophe LL hook HOOK kin KIN not. nut. So you're like, what are your coconut?
Why do you have an accent?
And then, because...
Why would you go Oriental or whatever that is?
First of all, I did not say I went Oriental. Second of all, what are your coconut? But anyways, it is, as you might imagine, it's a really, really fun game. If you get into it, we played it with our kids. There is a kink, but I should say the red is kinky. And let me tell you, it is kinky.
Can we try one of those?
Oh, Jesus. We'll try one.
Let's do just one.
Do you want it or do you want me to get it?
I want to try and you try.
Okay. Oh, Jesus.
Make sure there's something.
Right.
Is this something I know?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, this is decent. All right.
Oh, God. Sperm mud on her. Sperm mud on her? Sperm on her? Sperm mud on her. Spummer her.
You got the first part, right?
Spudmy her. It's sperm something.
Okay, just to speed this up, hint is baby charity.
Baby charity?
If y'all know it, say it.
Baby charity?
Yeah. Do you know what charity is?
No. Like giving away?
Yes.
Give him head? Give him sperm? Sperm his head?
Spell it out. Sound it out.
Sperm mud on her.
Annie wasn't very good at this game, by the way.
Sperm on her. Sperm on her head? I don't know. Fuck. I'm not good at this.
It's sperm donor.
Sperm donor.
God, you're so close every time, though.
Oh, this is hard.
Jackson wins the award for it because he definitely went full on Asian voice when he was doing it. So, and of course, let me go on and tell y'all, Annie thinks Jackson's the funniest person in the world. I mean, he's funny, but golly.
Oh, wow.
He and I could say the same exact thing.
Much?
Yeah, whatever. Okay,
here's yours.
because he was on that T206.
He was not.
Booba's wet. Booba's wet. Booba's wet.
Nope.
Boob sweat.
Yes.
Yeah. See,
I didn't even give you a hard one.
maybe I'm just that good. I didn't think sperm donor or hot yoga was that hard.
Okay. All right. I got you.
Babe, we got a time limit here.
Oh, okay.
Anyhow, get IncoHEARent. You'll appreciate it. It's a fun game.
It is fun. And we weren't even drinking when we were doing it. So I felt like that was fun.
We're not drinking now either.
Not drinking now either. So I'm trying not to drink until Key West. I started after this past weekend. Okay, I need to go have a drink right now. All right, we love you guys.
Oh, this is it. I didn't realize that was the end.
Well, you just said we're at our time limit.
Well, I meant we're on a time limit. I didn't mean we're out of time, but we're close to an hour. Yeah, so we can wrap it up.
Yeah, we need
love
to
you
wrap
guys.
this up.
Hey, seriously, all jokes aside, I apologize for getting off on my tangent. I needed to say that though. I should have said it a long time ago because I don't like to have this hate in my heart, and I'm still going to have some of it in my heart, but it made me feel a lot better. So I appreciate y'all listening. Sorry to go so deep. But listen, we finished up with IncoHEARent. Go get it and have fun.
Yeah, and so next week we are going to
next episode.
I think we should probably share one of our bigger arguments.
Yeah, sure. It's called Life's Little Arguments, but we'll share a big argument, I guess.
How many times in our marriage have you thought, this is it, we're getting divorced? This is a podcast. They can't see you.
No, thinking. I know. Well, I mean, but you got to give me time to think. If I can answer it that quickly, that's a problem. I'm sorry. I would say twice, maybe.
I feel like it's been 36 times.
Before you thinking it's over, or just it's over, period? I don't know.
In my mind, it's we've had
I don't
36 times where I thought I was going to divorce you.
There's literally one, maybe two things that you could do that would even remotely make me think. Like I'm like, you're my person.
I didn't ask you to get into all that. I just asked the question.
Two.
Okay, we'll talk about this next time.
All right, love you guys.
Love
Mean
you.
it.
Bye. Thank you so much for joining us today, guys. We really, really appreciate it. And if you did enjoy this episode, if you would give us a rate and review, like and subscribe, really helps push this podcast out to the rest of our audience. And we really appreciate that. So thanks so much. Love you guys.